So you're thinking about building your first website and you're wondering, is InMotion hosting a good place to start? That's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Over the last couple of months, I've been digging into everything InMotion hosting has to offer. I've tested it out myself, read through expert reviews, and checked out what real users are saying. The good, the bad, and the frustrating. By the end of this video, you'll know whether InMotion is the right host for your website or if you should look somewhere else. Let's start with the basics. InMotion hosting has been around for over 2 decades, which already tells you something. They've had time to figure things out, build a reputation, and get a bunch of features in place. It's not a brand new company trying to find its feet. It's a pretty established player in the hosting world. They offer a bunch of hosting types: shared hosting, WordPress hosting, VPS, dedicated servers, reseller hosting, you name it. But for this video, I'm focusing mostly on shared and WordPress hosting, the kinds that most beginners will use when they're launching a personal site, a blog, or a small online store. Is it easy to use? Getting started with InMotion. So here's what happens when I signed up. The sign up process is pretty standard. You pick a plan, enter your info in, and boom, you're in. But I'll be honest, it felt a little clunky. There were multiple steps on one page, and I had to make sure that I manually unchecked some sneaky upsells, like their backup manager, which was already selected and cost an extra $90 a year. Now, it's not the worst setup ever, but for someone just getting started, it might feel a little overwhelming. You want something simple and straightforward, not, wait, why is there an extra charge here? AMP versus cPanel. Once you're signed up, you land in their custom dashboard, and they call it AMP, which stands for Account Management Panel. This is where you'll manage your account stuff like billing, domains, and support. But here's where it gets a little confusing. You also have access to cPanel, which is where you manage the actual guts of your website. Things like email, databases, and installing WordPress. The two panels don't totally overlap, and some features are only available in one or the other. If you've never used cPanel before, it might take some getting used to. It's powerful, but not exactly pretty. Fortunately, once you know where to look, it starts making more sense. And InMotion has tutorials for most of the basics, which helps. Website building tools, BoldGrid and WordPress. Let's talk about actually building your site. If you go with one of their WordPress plans, you'll get access to something called BoldGrid, which is a drag and drop builder that sits on top of WordPress. It's like a middle ground between something super beginner like Wix or Squarespace and the raw power of WordPress. What I liked about BoldGrid is that you don't need to know any code. You pick a theme, tweak the layout, drop in your text and images, and you're good to go. It's especially handy if you've never touched WordPress before. It kind of holds your hands through the setup process. Now, if you're already comfortable with WordPress, then you don't have to use BoldGrid at all. You can just install WordPress through Softaculous, just a one-click installer, and go from there. There's also a decent collection of pre-made templates. Some of them are a bit dated, but a lot of them are clean and modern. And the best part is that once you're in, you can fully customize everything. Email setup. Setting up email through InMotion is pretty straightforward. You can create accounts through cPanel and access them using webmail clients like Roundcube. It's not flashy. In fact, it's kind of old school, but it works fine for basic emailing. Just don't expect Gmail level polish. If you're planning to send out newsletters or run marketing campaigns, I'd honestly recommend using a separate email marketing platform. InMotion's email is fine for contact forms and day-to-day stuff, but it's not built for big lists. What about speed and uptime? Here's where things get interesting. InMotion hosting claims a 99.9% uptime guarantee, which basically means your site shouldn't be down for more than 40-ish minutes a month. But in some independent tests, they didn't quite hit that mark. One reviewer monitored their site for a week and found over an hour of downtime, with one outage lasting more than 20 minutes. That's not great, especially if you're running a business. On the other hand, some users reported 0 downtime and fast load times. So it seems like performance really depends on which server you're on, how your site is set up, and maybe even how busy that server is at that time. Speed test. Speed-wise, InMotion isn't the fastest host that I've tested, but it's also not the slowest. When I tested a basic site hosted on their US server, load times were usually under 2 seconds for desktops for users in the US, which is good. But international users saw longer load times, like 4 to 5 seconds in places like India and Australia. And on mobile, it could be even slower, especially if your site has a lot of images or text plugins. That might not seem like a big deal, but every extra second hurts your bounce rate. People don't like waiting. They do include caching tools like UltraStack and Nginx Helper to help speed things up, but it's not all automatic. You might have to tweak some settings or install extra plugins to really get the most out of it. So overall, performance is okay, not amazing, but decent for the price. Customer support, mixed bag. All right, let's talk about support, because if you're new to websites, chances are you're gonna need some help at some point. InMotion offers 24/7 support through live chat, tickets, and phone. That sounds great on paper, but here's the catch. Phone support isn't available on the lowest tier plans. And the live chat, sometimes it's great, other times you're stuck waiting in a queue with 20 other people. I tested the live chat a few times. One day I got someone within a minute. Another time I waited over 30 minutes, got disconnected, and had to start all over again. So it's kind of hit or miss. Their knowledge base is also really solid. Tons of how-to guides, setup walkthroughs, and troubleshooting articles. If you're the type who likes to figure things out on your own, then you'll probably find what you need there. Security. Are you protected? Out of the box, InMotion gives you a decent set of security tools. You get free SSL, firewall protection, DDoS protection, and malware scanning. That covers the basics and it keeps your site from getting blacklisted or flagged by Google. But there's no free automatic backup on most plans. If you want backups done for you, you'll need to pay extra for the backup manager, around $24 a year. Or you can use a WordPress plugin to handle backups yourself, which is what I ended up doing. They also offer a paid add-on called Monarchs, which protects your site from more advanced threats. It's optional, but it might be worth it if your site starts growing and you want some extra peace of mind. So overall, the basics are covered, but if you want to level up your security, then it's gonna cost a bit more. Real user opinions. If you look around the web, you'll see a mix of reviews. Some people absolutely love InMotion. They talk about how it's reliable, support is helpful, and performance is solid. Others, not so much. They complain about slow response times, downtime, or getting hit with surprise charges for things that they thought were included. It really seems like your experience will depend on which plan you choose, how tech savvy you are, and how much support you actually need. If you're a hands-on type who likes figuring things out, then you'll probably be okay. But if you want someone to hold your hand the whole way, then you might get frustrated. Pricing. What are you really paying for? Let's break down the pricing a bit more. So if you go ahead and click the link down below in the description, it'll bring you to this page right here. We go ahead and choose from some of their different plans. There's the shared hosting plan and the cPanel WordPress plans. Let's go ahead and click on the cPanel WordPress plans and click on compare plans. So here they've got several different plans to choose from on several different terms. So there's the WordPress Core, WordPress Launch, WordPress Power, and WordPress Pro. And then you can choose from 1 month, 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year. And it looks like actually the 1 year is probably the best value that you're gonna see in terms of price. With these several different plans, you're gonna get different features, but taking a look at the WordPress Core plan, which starts at $3.29 per month for a year term, you get free domain and SSL, 2 websites, 100 gigabytes of NVMe SSD storage, 10x WordPress performance, unlimited bandwidth, 10 email addresses, security suite, marketing tools, native backups and migrations, 2 PHP workers per site, you get hosting plus, choice of data center location, and live chat support from helpful humans. As the plans increase, so do the features, so you can go ahead and pause this video and look at the screen now. So if you want to get started with InMotion, we'll have a link for you down in the description below where you can go ahead and get the best pricing possible. Now, once you go ahead and choose a plan and sign up, this is what the inside of InMotion looks like. So this is the AMP, or their account management panel, where you will handle most of the stuff. But then again, to go ahead and go to the cPanel, you'll come down here and click on cPanel. That'll open up a new tab. And here is where you have InMotion's cPanel, which if you've ever created a website before, you probably are familiar with cPanel. Again, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but don't worry, this is not what your website visitors will see. This is just for you. So is InMotion right for you? Here's the bottom line. If you're building your first website and you want something that's affordable, has solid tools, and gives you room to grow, InMotion hosting is worth considering. It's not the fastest or the flashiest, but it really gets the job done. Just be ready for a bit of a learning curve with the dashboards and budget for extras like backups or better support if you need them. If simplicity and fast support are super important to you, then you might want to look for another beginner-friendly host, maybe like Hostinger or SiteGround. But if you're comfortable learning as you go and you want a host that you can grow with, InMotion is a solid pick. What do you think? Have you tried InMotion before? Are you considering it for your first site? Drop your comments down below. And if you want to get started with any of the products that we talked about today, like InMotion or maybe even Hostinger or SiteGround, you'll find links for them down in the description below. These are affiliate links, which means that we earn a small commission when you use them at no extra cost to you. And these commissions really help support the channel and allow us to continue to create free content just like this. So if you end up using them, we thank you so much in advance. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Here on this channel, we make videos on how to create websites, explore different website builders, discuss domain names, and so much more. So be sure to subscribe. But other than that, thanks for watching. We'll see you here in the next video.